And the reason I believe in patchwork is actually it's just really personal because of my own experience. So I'm 48 and I became paralysed at the age of 7. And overnight, people told my parents all the things I would never do with my life. They were told I'd never get a job, I'd never get an education, I'd never get married, I'd never get kids. And I was 7 years old. And where I was incredibly lucky was my parents protected me from all of that, and they ignored all of it. And my parents brought me up to believe I could do anything I wanted. So when my mum said to me, I was about 8 years old, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to play rugby for Wales. She said, okay. Bit of a problem. I'm not very good on grass. And back then, women didn't play rugby, but they do now. Yay. So my parents are amazing, and they were one part of it. The other part of it was education. And my father used to say to me, Tanni, education gives you choices. And I used to sit there and go, yeah, whatever. And I didn't understand him until I was quite a bit older. Because when I turned 11, and I thought I was going to go to the same school that my sister was at, we had a letter from the head teacher which just said, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Gray, we don't take people like Tanni at our school. What do you mean, people like me? Like women, Welsh women, I didn't narrow it down. And I remember that was the first time that I realised how differently people would treat me. Not because anything I did or anything I said, but because I've got 4 wheels. And I remember sitting there thinking my life was going to be really different. And my father just said, don't worry, we'll sort it. Okay. Sorting it, he basically threatened to sue the Secretary of State for Wales over my right to be educated. And that's kind of where my interest in politics started. Because we could see that actually, if you understand the way the world works and you understand the landscape and the different people, and you don't know it all at once, but if you understand how some of those things come together and you've got a little bit of confidence and a little bit of nerve, you can kind of do all sorts of things. And because it was one woman, Baroness Mary Warnock, who wrote a report on education that said I had the right to be educated in the best environment for me. And that's what my dad got hold of a copy of, and he read it, and he wrote loads of really rude letters, and they're fab. And he got me into a mainstream school, and I got education, and I found sport, and then I kind of weaved my way back to politics. And 30 years after Baroness Mary Warnock wrote this report, by then I was sitting in the House of Lords, and I got to sit in the chamber with this woman who, unbeknownst to her, had changed my life. With a single sentence in a report, she had changed my life. And I sat there and I said, because of you, I am here. And she looked at me and she went, oh, lovely. Lost the moment, but hey, sorry, if you're expecting a real Bond moment, I've kind of ruined the evening. But it's those things that make a difference, and it's having that belief and that confidence. And when you listen to the young people on stage earlier, they have that belief and confidence. And that has been supported, and they've helped develop that through the work that Patchwork has done. And that's why it's important to keep going. Because when I was growing up, I didn't see anybody who looked like me, because disabled people were locked away, literally locked away. For me, that was quite empowering, because I didn't have to be like anybody else. That was fine 40-odd years ago. That is not fine anymore. And we have to make sure that in all walks of life, we have people who are represented, who have the chance from all different backgrounds to be there and make a difference. The final thing I was going to say, because if there were medals for talking, I would win, is Vicky said earlier that she can't wait to see a patchworker on a green bench in Houses of Parliament. I can't wait to see a patchworker on the red benches in House of Parliament. Let's see who wins. Thank you so much for tonight.